Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boston Airport, and this is Benevolent Bonnie's Boston Airport build part 6. This is also going to be the last part of this video that I'm going to make. It's been a travel, it's been a journey, and this last video is going to be longer than the ones previous. What I'm going to be doing in this video for the most part is I'm just going to be installing a lot of stuff into these rooms. I'm going to be trying some light fixtures, trying to make that work. I'm going to be putting some furniture in. I'm going to be building up on the rooms and stuff. Maybe I should brighten this up for now, but as soon as we get the lights turned on, I'm going to adjust the brightness again. But anyway, yeah, we're going to adjust this and we'll continue. All right, I think that's going to work. But yeah, I'm going to be putting some lights on and some other things into the structure. And I'm going to be using a lot of the Vault-Tec lights in the vault spots. But if I remember correctly, they aren't as bright as regular lights, so there's a good chance I'm probably just going to be throwing regular lights in there eventually anyway. But we'll try to make it as Vault-Tec-esque as possible as of right now. I wanted to thank everyone for stopping by again. I appreciate that you all are back to watch the 6th part of this build. I have never built anything this size, especially learning that gun dropping exploit. That definitely gives me a bit of an advantage when I'm trying to make like a big build, and I really do appreciate everyone telling me about that. And yeah, I've never built anything like this. I've been playing Fallout 4 since it came out, and I never built something like this grand. So it's getting a little bit ridiculously long, and because we can't grow any food here, I had to actually get some supply lines going to 2 of the other settlements. Before I came back here with the other settlements, I upped the amount of people that were in each of the settlements, and I upped the farmers, said they grew extra food, and I was able to bring that extra food out to the airport. So I have 2 guys running supply lines to the airport to feed the people at the airport, because I did have most of my followers move into the airport. That's why like the defense up here is in red, but the water and the food is in the green. It's because the water and food is being transferred from the other 2 settlements down to the airport. So as long as I have enough people growing food in these other 2 settlements to help this airport out, then I won't have any problem without building or growing any crops down this way. Level 3 here is just I've been taking this thing apart and I've been putting it back together, and I've been retooling it over and over and over again. This version is the final version that I made. I'm going to cut some of this out because it's going to get sloppy again, and we already had 2 like ugly phase building videos, so I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to cut a lot of this out, and then I'll continue on after maybe I won't cut it out. I'll just speed it up. I think I prefer to do that. So that's what I'm going to do, and you'll hear me in a couple of seconds. So like I have done in past videos, I just went through both the bottom floor and the 3rd floor. I redid a lot of the flooring for the 2nd floor and the 1st floor. I redid a lot of the flooring for the 2nd floor. I redid a lot of the ceilings for the 1st floor. I slapped a lot of different pieces of wood and whatnot onto this second floor here. If I couldn't make like a roofing or the flooring work in specific spots, I just used like rugs or carpets or whatever to fill it up. I use like rubber carpets or whatever just to fill up the little spots. At this point, I started doing some prefab stuff, because in this little corner section here, I'm going to actually build up a little shack on the second floor for whoever the heck wants it. Later on, I catch McCready in this spot, so I'm going to give it to him. But anyway, right now it's this little shack that I'm going to put together. It's kind of like the back end of level 2 and to the right. And I built it just like I would build any other shack, in any other settlement. I just kind of built it inside instead of out in the open like I normally do. So yeah, like in here, I'm just gonna be putting like some bedding, some furniture, some other stuff like that, and just building like this little spot up for whoever wants it. Like I said, Greedy likes the spot, so it's his. And yeah, that's all I did here. So for the remainder of this part, I put in some furniture, some other stuff like I was planning on doing anyway, and I sped this up a little bit. I put it about like seven times speed, which should be slow enough to still be able to actually watch what I did. Anyway, so that is the first little shack that I have on the second floor. All right, now I want to have all of these levels like illuminated. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be trying to put in one of the generators. I decided until I ran out of material to use these larger generators that produce 100 electricity. You need to have a science rank 4 to get these, but for the amount of stuff that you use, minus maybe the nuclear material, which is hard to find to begin with, for the amount of power that you get and the type of material that you need, like I said, minus the nuclear material because it's a little more difficult than everything else, but for the most part it's a good balance. However, to get the nuclear material, if you're looking for it, there is a lot of nuclear material in Vault 88. The woman in Vault 81 who sells junk or whatever, she sometimes has nuclear material, and every now and again you'll kind of luck out on one of the traveling merchants. But really a lot of the time with the nuclear material, you have to get a lot of just random scrap that just so happens to have it, or you have to kill suicider, super mutants, or some like glowing type of monsters that you find out in the wild. But anyway, at this point, I'm just going to be rushing through all the levels. I'm going to be putting a lot of lighting in, and I'm going to start just putting power conduits all over the place on level 2, because it's the scav / raider area, so a good spot for them, if I'm going to put them anywhere that's noticeable, would be on the raider / scav area instead of the pristine vault area or up in the little quote-unquote penthouse places on level 4. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to be doing for a little while here. You've already seen these rooms. I haven't really changed them a whole lot. I'm just going to be looking at, okay, where do the lights come out? Where do I need to put the conduits? What type of power generators do I need to use to try to generate everything in this building? I just used a lot of the ones that give you about 100 power. It's overkill. You don't need to use them, but they're quieter than the lesser ones, except for the windmill, but you can't really fit a windmill inside very easily. So yeah, after I put a bunch of conduits out, I did what I could to try to get this generator in a location that was kind of hidden. So I really didn't see it from the distance too much, but still functional for most of the building. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm just kind of figuring out where the best location is for this first generator. So for the next few minutes, I'm just kind of fiddling about trying to get the generator to work. I'm eventually going to find a place that it does work. I'm going to start hooking it up to the different conduits, and I'm going to start putting lights on. So now that we have our generator installed, now I got to figure out what type of lights I want to put, where I want to put them. And for this level 2 here, I think what I'm going to do with a lot of the lights, I'm just going to make them basic lights, or I'm going to make them burn barrels or something like that. But right now, I'm still trying to get all these conduits to work, like the lights that are on like these pillars or whatever. I'm trying to get them to work. This is another thing where it's almost like trial and error. I mean, it's not cute looking at where all the conduits are, but that's what you have to do if you want to attach power to something. I showed that in earlier videos. So, you know how to do it by now. You just place all the conduits wherever you want electricity, run the wires to whatever generator you want to use. And I think after like an X amount of lights or whatever, depending on how much power the generator creates, you may or may not have to use a second generator. I believe that's happened before where I was trying to power some lights and I couldn't power up any more lights with one generator, so I had to put a second one on. I think that's happened before, and if it did, it was a while ago. So if it's just something that I'm not remembering properly, I apologize, but to the best of my knowledge as of right now, that is something that I actually had to do. And I'm noticing up here, some of the lights aren't actually on yet. So I'm going to have to go to the outside of the building, and I'm going to have to try to figure out where I can put more generators and hide them out of plain sight. So this is going to be yet another project that's going to, take a little while. All right, so right here, I'm just going through my little vault, and I'm just putting a bunch of stuff in the rooms. And, if I didn't speed this up, that's a solid 10, 15 minutes. You'll just be watching me putting stuff in places. I decided to slow down a little bit once I got to the overseer's place because I wanted to show all the different stuff that I'm going to put in the overseer's place, kind of make it, I don't want to say look like it's been like lived in, but kind of look like how I would expect, Vault-Tec being Vault-Tec, how they would kind of set it up. In here, I'm just going to put like a lot of Vault-Tec stuff. Like everything that's going to be in here is going to have that little Volt like icon on the top right corner of the image. And I'm just going to kind of fill this whole room up with a whole bunch of Vault-Tec stuff because, it's the overseer's place. So this is what I assume the overseer would probably do. I will also be putting a lot of posters up because they're kind of cool, I think. I mean, I just unlocked them after I finished the stuff I had to do in Vault 88 with the overseer. I'm not going to get into that mission much, but if you've played that mission, you know how much of a whatever you want to call her that overseer is. Maybe you appreciate all the experiments that overseer wants to do, maybe you don't. That's all I'm going to say about it, and that's it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start putting up these little posters. I don't know, I think they're kind of cool. They're just little Vault Boy reminders. Have you taken your medicines today? You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm going to put these all around the room. And each one that I put up is going to be different. And then we'll move on to the next room afterwards. All right, that about do it for the overseers lot. And then I'm going to start putting some of the older looking posters in this room. And I'm just going to go around the room just like I did with the other place. Now here I have like the little lights that go on top of the doors that say residential or overseer or whatever. I'm actually looking for the rooms that have the residential ones on them. So I'm going to put these like next to the residential like doorways. And I'm going to put, of course, a different one on for the overseer. There she is. Alrighty, and that's not the overseer. The overseer is over here. Okay, that's where we're going. All right, now we'll continue. Here I'm just putting a bunch more stuff in the overseer's spot, and then I'm gonna move down to the lower level. I'll probably come back up here a little bit later and finish up with that. Right now I just have to go down here, and I'm gonna have to throw some guns on the ground again, because once again I ran out of room. So you know how that works. I'm gonna just run through that and we'll go from there. All right, well, you guys know the deal. You guys were the ones that showed me how to do that. I brought some ammo, or not ammo, but some armor down on the floor, as well as the guns. And the armor really didn't do a whole lot to help the size of the settlement. So for future me, or to help you out, the size reduction, the settlement size reduction trick with the guns only works with the guns, not so much with other items. Anyway, now I'm just going to start throwing a bunch of lights down on the very bottom floor here, and I guess we're going to be going and decorating up a little bit. Here I just worked a little bit on downstairs, trying to patch up the roofs and whatnot to get ready for the second level. And here I'm going to try to get at least a few different shacks or shanties, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to try to change, like, the cipher between this level and the bottom level a little bit more. What I decided to do is I'm going to make level 2 here like a raider outpost, and then the bottom level I'm going to make kind of like a basement. It's going to have just about anything you need down there. I'm just going to have a lot of like sitting room, workshop station, stuff like that. I think that's what I'm going to go with. And yeah, so for a while here, I just worked on these 2 floors, and I have an hour and about 15 minutes of footage that I'm trying to squeeze all in here. I don't really want to give you guys an hour-long video, so I'm doing what I can to try to give you an idea of what I'm doing, and just still at the same time not wasting your time. Just zoning, droning, whatever you want to call it. So I want to speed it up from here, and I will talk to you guys shortly. All right, well, that was fun. And here's the reason why I named this the Shack McCready, because for a couple nights I actually found McCready hanging out in here. So I officially decided to make this shack McCready's Shack. I mean, of course, the followers that you get, they're not going to sleep in the same room every night, and they're just going to go to whatever bed is the most convenient for them. But in my little mind, having certain characters having a certain spot, I don't know. It just, even though they won't follow the suit, it immerses me at least a little bit more into the game. So if you don't like it, well, hey, tough, because I enjoy doing a little bit of, I guess you can call it, role-playing for the other characters to make them more than just some stupid NPCs. But hey, do you have to do that? Not really. You can just tell them all to F off if you really want to. But hey, that's your choice. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to put McCready's name up here, and we're going to speed some of this up because this did take a little while to get it kind of right, and we'll move on from here. Ba-do-do-do, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, boom. I don't know, I thought that was kind of neat. And there you go. There's McCready's little spot. I'm going to put like a toilet and some other stuff back here, and I don't know why. It just, because I can. Yeah, and I'm going to continue working on the rest of this spot. And to save some more time, I am going to speed up a lot of this. I'm sorry that I'm not showing everybody every little thing. But everyone who's following me, for the most part. I believe by the time they get to this video, they'll kind of know how to make settlements, and they won't have to see, step by step. I think they'll have a bit of an idea of it. If not, hey, if I'm wrong, let me know. Shoot me a comment saying, no, you're wrong. We want you to take more time to make longer videos and give us more of a tutorial on it still. If that's the case, sure, let me know, and I will try to remember to do that. I know it's probably just me, but I still like the weird little sounds that the videos make when you speed them up. Anyway, so before I forget, I also want to put some shanties or whatever out here and make this area almost like a resort or reserve instead of just like a hotel, now that I'm going to have like a small community of houses here. And once again, I do have some people running food down by supply line. So as of right now, it's working fine, but we will see how that is affected, how that changes the game or whatever later on. But anyway, yeah, I'm just making a platform for a larger house, and I'm going to work out here a little bit, and we'll go on from there. All right, so at this point, I was just kind of putting some defense around, and I put some stuff in the houses, and I'm gonna take a look back and see how everything's kind of looking. This is what I got so far. This bottom place is still pretty open, and once again, I'm going to have to drop all the guns and everything to bring the size down again. So let's go and do that. I want to cut it out this time. All right, that saved a little bit of time and a little bit of editing. But anyway, so my size is still pretty high up there. You can see in the top right corner there. I'm just putting some little touches on this house. I want to put something on the corner here, and I want to get some more lights up like around the place. I'm probably just going to use like a small side piece, just to try to make that work. Maybe, sure, that'll work. All right, and we'll take a look back here. So that's what we have going on. I'll probably put another house down all the way at the far end, and we're going to continue filling this room up. So once again, I'm going to speed up the time a little bit. We're already at 23 minutes, and I still have half the video to show you. So time to speed some stuff up again. So this part right here is just me working on the Raider Scav section. I think that's what I'm going to call it, Raider Scav. I don't know. Works for me. I tried to make another little shanty up on the Raider Scav section, level 2. I couldn't get a ceiling on top, but I was like, okay, well, there's a floor that's on top of this little encasement, and then there's a roof on top of that floor. So if anyone decides to sleep in there, they should be fine, because I have a couple of levels higher of shelter. And just, I don't know, instead of just having like a perfect door, I'm just going to put a busted one in for once, because I never do that. I don't know. To me, it just makes more sense to have a busted door in like the Raider Scav section. So this is what I have so far. It's not looking too bad. There's still plenty more to do. I want to throw some water down and some more defense. And then once that's done, we are going to go back and work a little bit more on Raider Scav building, or whatever you want to call it. So I cut a chunk of the video out because it was kind of unnecessary. And at that point, I was just putting a couple extra things on level 2. I took the elevator up to level 3. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm going to finish building the stuff on the third level of the penthouse, or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to make it look like it's something that someone will live in. Maybe not necessarily lived in yet, but soon to be lived in. So I'm just kind of trying to get whatever room. I'm just trying to get like some miscellaneous like objects or stuff in there that someone would actually have, because this is kind of like the hallway between all the rooms. I'm putting some lockers in, water fountains, stuff like that, workbenches, stuff like that. And I'm not sure what I think about the lighting in here. I kind of wanted to use just the regular Vault-Tec lighting, but it didn't seem to really brighten the place up enough, and I'd rather show everyone the video at its normal brightness instead of messing with it and changing the way it looks and everything, because it just doesn't look as good when I have to mess with the colors and the adjusting the shadows and all that. I do try, and hopefully I'm getting better. Right here, I'm going to have, if I decide to have other people here besides just like my followers, companions, whatever you want to call them. If I decide to just have regular settlers come down here and start living down here, I'm going to make all of them guards. I'm probably going to put a couple more of the Vault-Tec guard posts around. Would that look interesting? Yeah, it would. Is it going to, because of how the game is designed, is it going to make people invisible? Is it going to change how, the settlement looks? Yes, because once you get to an X amount of people at one specific settlement, it starts acting goofy. Because this is the original game and not a complete remaster, the amount of people that you can see on the screen is still limited compared to what they can really do on the Xbox Series consoles, PS5, or a gamer computer for that matter nowadays. It's just some more boring stuff, just putting some lights up and everything. So I think I'm going to speed through some more of this. I'm just going to run through this section real quick, and then you'll find us going on to level 4. Level 4, I'm just looking at all the rooms. Curie's room doesn't seem to have as much electricity as it should. It's getting a little bit of electricity because the jukebox is on, but other than that, it's not getting electricity. Dance's room is also missing some electricity. So I'm going to have to find a way to get outside of this building, and I guess maybe like on top of like the vault or whatever, and I'm going to have to actually start hiding some power plants in specific locations and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna be out here, and I'm just gonna show you. Okay, like I'm literally outside of this big old building that I made. This is the top floor, and what I'm doing is I'm just kind of opening up. Well, when I'm not falling, I'm just opening up the walls and the ceilings, trying to figure out which room is which, so I can figure out, okay, this is where I need to put some sort of generator to get the amount of power that I want to this specific room. I wasn't going to go through all of that. It was tedious, and it wasn't worth showing because it was extra. But anyway, I did this purposely at night to show you around the airport. Welcome to the airport resort. I have some open signs going on, the shanties or whatever. This is what I did to the bottom floor. As I said, I made it kind of like a basement, kind of like a hangout spot. I used stuff from Nuka World. I used a little bit of stuff from Far Harbor to put this together. I used the Wasteland workshop, the Contraptions workshop. I didn't really use too much. But pretty much I used all of the DLCs possible except for maybe like Automatron. I didn't do anything there. And of course I used some of the original building stuff to make this spot. This is the second level. It's not super lit. There's a little bathroom. I told you I was going to put a bathroom there. And I purposely wanted to make this not so lit because it's like basement, and then it's like, kind of like the Raider Scav spot. So it's purposely kind of dim lit. Hopefully you can see it okay while you're watching this. I mean, it looks fine on my phone and on my computer, but I don't know how it's going to look once I get it onto YouTube. And then this is the other little shanty spot that I made without the roof because I didn't want to actually go on. I guess from here we will go to the fourth level. That's where I decided to actually put my power plant and or power generator, I guess I should say. Not really necessarily a power plant, it's a generator, but the amount of power that it gives you, it could be something with the power plant. All right, level 3, and I still have some guns out here that I forgot to pick up when I was doing that little exploit. Hey, what's up, Dance? Level 3, this is what I did with the Vault-Tec rooms. That's where the guards are going to be posted. That's one of the generators I put in the corner there. I don't think it's going to really matter too much. I think it's out of the way or whatever. I put a lot of random bolt stuff in here, and I put a bed in the corner of the overseer's room. I kept it dark because you sleep in the dark, so I did that. Then we go to the top level. I guess you can call them the penthouses, even though they're just rooms high up in the air. I did finally get power in all the rooms. This is Nick's room. I think I'm going to keep it as Nick's room. I'll probably get rid of that door and just make like a regular wall there. I'm probably going to put something in this hallway. Deacon's room, very simple, nothing too much except for the view. You can see some cool stuff down there now that the settlement's built out. Dance's room and Curie's room, the one that was giving me a hard time with power. I got that all taken care of, and this is going to be the last video of this build while I'm building it. I might come back later on to this settlement in another video while I'm building another area, just kind of backtrack and see how it's going. But anyway, that's what I got. I hope you enjoyed the last part of the airport build, and you guys have a good evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever it is you may be by now.